President Trump accused the Obama administration of phone tapping on Saturday. The president tweeted the allegations, stating that Obama tapped into phones in Trump Tower during the presidential campaign. Between those leaked tapes, Trump calling Hillary a nasty woman, there seems to be a huge overlying theme this election: women. Our Special Projects team reports on why females have been a major topic during these past few months in more ways than one. But these are the facts. The university sent out an email stating that Timothy Eklund left the university to pursue other opportunities on January 20th. Our reporters found out that Eklund's last day was December 30th. Former Dean of Students Gerald Stein was called out of retirement to be the interim Dean of Students. Eklund still has not been hired anywhere else. Stony Brook football alum Victor Ochi took to the field this weekend with his new team. Ochi was promoted to the active roster for the New York Jets and made his NFL debut in their game versus the Baltimore Ravens. For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez. 286 million Americans get their water from a community water supply and rely on the EPA to keep that water safe and clean. For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez. And another fun fact about Grover Cleveland, he was from Buffalo too, just like me. For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez.
You know, it's thousands, so why even mention the word?
Eduardo Gomez, or as most know him as, Eddie, was born in Barranquilla, Colombia in 1961 and immigrated to the United States in 1973 with his parents.
They just saw a better life for the family, so they had the vision.
Although he is a Hispanic immigrant, he breaks the stereotype with his support of Republican nominee Donald Trump for president.
It's because of where I see this nation going. I think I'd rather take my chances with the way Trump has been, wants to lead us.
Over the course of his campaign, Mr. Trump has been very outspoken about his thoughts on tougher immigration laws and building a wall between the U.S. and Mexico, which Eddie agrees with.
And I am a big supporter of controlling the borders. That it's a country of laws, and people should definitely abide by it.
He aligns himself with the Republican Party because he believes that people should work for what they have and not rely on government programs. He feels strongly about it because he worked hard and overcame obstacles to build a good life for his family by serving as an officer in the NYPD.
Yes, Trump has said and has offended me in certain things that he has said.
Even being offended won't change his support for Donald Trump.
So I want to vote for the future of this country, not on feelings.
He instills this kind of thinking in his children, too.
Always respect others, no matter what, and if they treat you crazy or bad or the wrong way, move on.
Eddie identifies with the Republican ideal of building a bigger and stronger military because his two sons, Elias and Daniel, are serving in the U.S. Air Force.
Again, I don't have been for it yet because I haven't been home and I haven't been near a government computer.
He wants to elect a president who will grow the military more technologically to ensure his son's safety.
Sometimes it's a little scary, you know, that they're actually up there flying some of these planes that are really old.
He centers his life around his family and believes that a Trump presidency will be better for his children's future.
In a position where, wow, Grandpa or my father or voted on his feelings more of his convictions.
For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez. The Student Health Center alerted the Stony Brook campus community that they had confirmed one case of the mumps in a residential student. That student was sent home to recover.
Well, once we were notified that we had a confirmed case, since we know that vaccination is the most important thing, we looked and we audited all our records to see who was and who was not vaccinated. We've reached out to the students individually to encourage vaccination.
Symptoms include fever, headache, muscle aches, fatigue, and loss of appetite. But the most obvious symptom of the virus is pain and swelling of the salivary glands.
It's a PCR test. It's a swab of your saliva that's located right against your cheek. We try to get as close as we can to the salivary gland.
The virus is spread by a contagious person coughing, sneezing, or talking, as well as sharing drinks and food or touching objects with unwashed hands that are then touched by other people. The virus persists for around 2 weeks and is cured by bed rest and over-the-counter painkillers, along with drinking lots of fluids. It can be prevented with the MMR vaccine, which is 2 doses. Most children get the first dose when they are 12 to 15 months, and the second dose when they are 4 to 6 years old. New York state law requires students to have at least 1 mumps vaccination before attending college, but students have the right to waive the vaccination for religious or ethical reasons and still attend school. If you haven't gotten your vaccination yet, come to the Student Health Center. For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez. University police now have a new addition to their uniform, a body camera. After all the tensions in the country between police officers and civilians, UPD decided to implement this new form of transparency.
One of the best practices was the utilization of body-worn cameras by police. That was the main reason, through that recommendation, that we agreed with to arm the officers with those cameras.
The Body-Worn Camera Program, or BWC, started a month ago as a pilot program to see if it would be beneficial to Stony Brook's campus.
Good afternoon. Officer Smith, can I have your license and registration, please?
The body cameras clip onto the front of an officer's uniform in order to gain insight on what happens during conflicts between officers and civilians.
So it protects the campus community from a possible bad seed in my department, and it protects the officer from any baseless allegations.
During the pilot program, officers will only use the cameras during traffic stops.
It might be like a ripple effect that might help other schools get involved in the body camera initiative as well.
Studies show that use of force was reduced by 60% and complaints against officers were reduced to 88% while they were wearing body cameras. University Police Department tested out 3 different types of body cameras to see which was most effective in keeping both the campus community and officers safe. For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez.